I heard that we've got some stuff going on with Greenland because, all right, so I've had a video about this recently. I've had multiple videos about this recently, actually. There's a whole U.S. expansion playlist on my YouTube page. Definitely go and check that out. We cover Canada, we cover Mexico, we cover Venezuela, we cover Greenland, all right? So, here's the thing. Greenland is absolutely a national security issue for the United States. Given its geopolitical position, it is incredibly close to both China and Russia. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you were to go over the top of the globe, like from Greenland down into Moscow, is like 1,000 miles from where we would have a base in Greenland. We already have a base in Greenland. That's why we guarantee Greenland's national security militarily. The U.S. government is responsible for the military defense of Greenland already, because we have bases there. Now, Denmark technically owns Greenland for no apparent reason. It was kind of just given to them over the years, like maybe a few hundred years ago. Probably it was just kind of given to them. And Greenland is a self-governing territory. That means Denmark does not do a goddamn thing for Greenland whatsoever. Greenland uses Denmark's money, and that's about it. And I'm not even really sure if they're subject to all of Denmark's laws, like just realistically, because Denmark doesn't guarantee their safety militarily, and they don't assist or help in governing them. Greenland self-governs, and there's like 70,000 people that live there. So here's the thing. If the U.S. government wanted to go in and take Greenland, there's not a goddamn thing you could do to stop us. And B, you have no claim. There's no basis to your claim over Greenland. And C, if Greenland wants to join us, they should be allowed to do so. And D, if you are from Greenland and are watching this, do it. Vote to become part of the United States. Don't do that for me. Don't do that for Trump. Don't do it for the United States. Do that for you, okay? Because there is an awful lot of natural resources that are underneath Greenland that the U.S. will literally immediately begin to mine. And if that happens, you will receive a stipend check because you fucking live there. Okay? They're already talking about giving you like $100,000 just to vote to become part of the United States, which, again, I'm totally fine with. But, yeah, no. So in the very same way that we needed Alaska to deter a Chinese and Russian threat, we also need Greenland to deter that threat. Now, that comes by extension, we need Canada, which its economy is imploding as it is anyway, and the western half of it's probably going to vote to either separate from Canada or become part of the United States. Either way, they're doing things with the United States that their central government doesn't like, and that's the whole different video, which I've covered before. Definitely check it all out on my YouTube page. Shameless plug. Anyway, all right. So let's continue. Denmark and Greenland failed to win the Trump team over. Yep, that's true. So Marco Rubio went out to talk with Denmark and with Greenland about a potential U.S. Purchase of Greenland, which Denmark has rejected multiple times in the past. All right, so anyway, Denmark and Greenland still have a fundamental disagreement with the United States over President Trump's desire to control the Arctic territory. Denmark's foreign ministry said on Wednesday, so that's today. Lars Løkke Rasmussen, Rasmussen, God, and his Greenland counterpart, Vivian Motzfeldt, finally had their chance to try to turn down the temperature at the White House after more than a year of aggressive internet trolling, statements, and demands from the U.S. Their conversation did little to dissuade Trump and his team from their hold on Greenland. Yeah, no, look, we've decided we're going to take it. We will either buy it or we will take it. It's really up to you. We didn't manage to change the American position, Rasmussen told reporters after the meeting. It's clear that the president has this wish of conquering over Greenland. That's true. Conquer is a strong word. I mean, it would really not take that much. We made it very, very clear that this is not in the interest of the kingdom. We do not care about the Denmark kingdom. Okay, let me make that very fucking clear. And it's definitely not in the interest of you. It's in the interest of the United States, which is exactly what the president should be focused on. I have no idea why he should care about the interests of the Denmark kingdom. Anyway, Rasmussen and Motzfeldt took pains to describe the session as respectful, frank and constructive, but their frustration that their lifetime ally would not cooperate was clear. Yeah, you've depended on the United States for a long time, and President Trump agrees with me when I say that there's no reason that we should be guaranteeing the safety militarily of a place that we do not own. It is, of course, very emotional for all of us, Rasmussen said as I cry into the microphone. The U.S., Denmark, and Greenland agreed in the meeting to convene high-level working groups to see if they could find a way forward, but Rasmussen said he was unsure whether it would be possible. Listen, here's the thing. This Vivian person, Vivian Moldsfeld, she's probably going to talk with President Trump on her own. And she's probably going to separate from Denmark. Like, Greenland's just going to separate from Denmark and become part of the United States. That's just how that's going to be. Trump said later Wednesday that while signing executive orders at the White House, that he was still deciding how to address his concerns about Greenland, which he said the U.S. needs for planned global dome missile defense system. Yes, that's fair. That Golden Dome defense system that he wants. Trump is trying to make a much larger, much better version of the Iron Dome that Israel has, because I don't know if you know this, but Israel has to defend against missiles lobbed into their territory literally every day and have for the last 20 years. So they have this super cool Iron Dome defense system which shoots missiles down before they're able to do any kind of real damage. It's not 100% accurate, but it's really, really good. And Trump wants it. He wants a Golden Dome over the United States and over likely at least Northern America, the Northern American continent. If he could, I bet he would stretch it across the entire Western Hemisphere. And I think that's probably ultimately going to be the goal because Don Roe doctrine on the Western Hemisphere, baby. Okay. We don't go in. Okay, if we don't go in, Russia's going to go in, and China's going to go in, he said, and declined to rule out other military force, which is fair. He's correct. They are going to, because it's an awesome strategic location for them, and it's packed full of natural resources, be it liquefied natural gas or rare earth minerals, which China's really going to need. If we take over Greenland, we don't even have to worry about Taiwan anymore. Now, we're probably still going to want it because, it's basically Silicon Valley West, but, or at least that's what I've heard Charlie Kirk call it. Anyway, there's not a thing that Denmark can do about it if Russia or China wants to occupy Greenland, but there's everything we can do. We found that last week in Venezuela. We walked in there and ripped a dictator out of his bed. I can't rely on Denmark being able to fend themselves off. He's right. The United States literally provides security for most of the planet. And the people that are trying to take on the United States are not going to care whether or not the U.S. is there to protect its buddy. They're just going to take over its buddy. So if the U.S. needs Greenland in order to make that happen, or in order to make it easier, then I think we should just give it to them. Demands that would violate Denmark and Greenland's sovereignty are totally unacceptable. Denmark, by the way, I haven't heard this Vivian lady talking, at least not in this article. Denmark has contributed $15 billion to Arctic security over the last 2 years and has pressed the U.S. and other NATO countries to do more through the alliance. Bitch, the U.S. does everything. Fuck you. Rasmussen said in the briefing to reporters, Denmark announced earlier Wednesday that it would beef up its security presence in Greenland, which has been under Danish control for nearly 300 years. Yeah, I know, it was just given to them for some fucking reason. The officials noted much of what Trump and his team continue to say about Greenland is untrue, including Trump's often repeated claim that Greenland is crawling with Russian and Chinese warships. Rasmussen said there has not been a Chinese warship in the Arctic for a decade. Well, that's just not true. They were literally in the Arctic transporting oil from Russia fucking 2 weeks ago. What? The officials, and also China is trying to increase its presence over there just now, literally right now. The officials noted much of what... these statements of Trump's threatening tone do not yield a constructive dialogue, says Rasmussen. Yeah, Denmark's obviously going to be opposed to this because if they get rid of Greenland, Denmark loses a lot of its power. It becomes much poorer overnight. It is not easy to think innovatively about solutions when you wake up every morning to different threats, he said. Yeah, that's fair. Anyway, so this is the Times of India. We've covered with a bunch of videos with them before. We use them a lot. We like them. Personally, even though India is part of the BRICS nations, I do think that India will end up breaking away from that and joining the United States. I think they would be better off in an alliance with the United States, and I do think that could be a superpower alliance with India's massive population and potential growth in its economy, and the fact that we can probably manufacture a lot of shit there if we try. Not that I want to send it back overseas, but that's not the point. Building up the Indian economy and working in close ties with the United States would be best for the Indian economy and really good for the U.S. economy, in much the same way that we work in really close ties with the Japanese economy, right? Anyway, so again, this is the Times of India on YouTube. This is Mind Your Own Business. Trump rages as Greenland Prime Minister picks Denmark over the United States. I don't give a what he picked.
Greenland does not want to be governed by the United States. Greenland does not wish to become a part of the United States.
We select the Greenland we know today,
and which is a part of the Kingdom of Denmark.
We are now facing a geopolitical crisis, and if we are to choose between the U.S. and Denmark at this very moment,
so we choose Denmark.
We choose NATO. We choose the Kingdom of Denmark.
You choose NATO, that means you choose the United States. You choose Denmark because that's the politically correct thing to say right now.
We choose the European Union.
Greenland said today.
Good luck. You know what? Fine, go for it. But also, we're just going to take it. You know that, right?
We prefer to stay with Denmark. You see that as the premier of Greenland.
Well, that's their problem. That's their problem. I disagree with him. I don't know who he is. Don't know anything about him. But that's going to be a big problem for him.
U.S. President
Trump's right. Like, listen, you can choose whatever you want to. Look, we're offering you the chance to sell it to us as a courtesy, guy.
Donald Trump has once again put Greenland at the center of a growing geopolitical dispute. In a post on Truth Social, Trump said the United States needs Greenland.
He's right. That's 1,000% right. If for no reason other than the geopolitical location, it needs Greenland for national security. Anyway.
For national security, calling the Arctic island vital to what he described as America's future missile defense architecture. He argued that NATO would be stronger with Greenland under U.S. control.
It would be 1,000% stronger, absolutely. Russia and China wouldn't even dare.
Warning that Russia or China could otherwise gain influence in the region. Trump said anything short of U.S. ownership of Greenland would be unacceptable. His comments came a day after Greenland Prime Minister said his country chose Denmark over the U.S., while the Danish Prime Minister said it had not been easy to stand up against completely unacceptable pressure from our closest ally. The hardest part now lies ahead of us.
See, here's the thing. Greenland is apparently owned. They're a self-governing territory owned by Denmark. This is how the Denmark Prime Minister, who is their addresses, this is how the Greenland Prime Minister is their addresses. All of the money clearly goes to Denmark. Greenland is clearly the one that just makes the money. There's 70,000 people there, meaning there are many cities in the United States that are much larger than the entire population of Greenland. Yeah, listen, guys. If you think that we can't rip both of these prime ministers out of their bed, full Maduro style. I'm not saying we should. But we do have the ability, and that's something they should consider.
Greenland and Denmark had to handle quite an unfamiliar and difficult situation. We will succeed together. We have taken the initiative to further strengthen security in the Arctic. We have tightened the ties between us in the kingdom, and we have built even closer alliances with partners and allies around the world. It has not been easy to stand up against completely unacceptable pressure from our closest allies through a generation, but much simultaneously suggests that the hardest part now lies ahead of us, and it has become increasingly clear that even though it is primarily the Greenlanders who feel the insecurity, and even though we and the entire Commonwealth have had to endure many insults,
I bet a lot of people in Greenland are fine with it. I bet a lot of them are fine with it. Now, you got a lot of the older people that probably won't be like, no, Denmark pride, whatever. But a lot of people are probably either fine with it or don't care.
there is something much more fundamental at stake. This is not just about Greenland or the kingdom. It is about the principle that borders should not be changed.
Why not? No, like literally, why not? Are we supposed to allow Afghanistan and Somalia and Pakistan and Iraq and Palestine and like, are we literally supposed to allow these terrorist states to just continue to exist forever? For how long exactly should we allow narco-terrorist groups to exist? For how long exactly should we allow a failing state to exist? Like, honestly, at some point the borders are going to have to change. There's no reason that they should remain stagnant for forever. Countries rise and fall all the time. That's just the way that the world works. And if you don't like that, I'm sorry, but you're a fucking pussy.
You cannot buy other people. It is about ensuring that small countries should not fear large countries. That is why we are clearly speaking.
If the small country can provide something of value to the large country, then yeah, sure, they shouldn't fear it, and there should be absolute like trade and yada yada yada. And if you want to fight and die for your country, go for it. But I'm telling you, there will not be a single American life lost.
Out. And that is why many allies are doing the same in the Nordic countries.
And the problem with the EU in general is that the United States has provided security for them for a really long time. So they don't really have that much of a built-up army, and especially an army that can project any kind of power outside of their own border.
In Europe.
Like, even China has this problem, right? Like, China's Navy is larger than the United States Navy in terms of raw numbers, but a lot of their ships are like corvette and frigate coastal ship class. They're not really like power projection. They don't do any kind of they don't have a blue water navy, and a lot of their navy runs on like coal and diesel power, so they're really reliant on a sophisticated logistical chain that allows for them to refuel constantly, and they don't have the range that the U.S. ships do.
And elsewhere in the world. We stand up not only for ourselves, but for the world order that the generations before us have built our democracy upon. Tomorrow, Greenland and Denmark will meet with the USA. We come together, we stay together, and we walk together.
Correct. Together, as part of the Union of the United States of America. Thank you.
We welcome dialogue and we welcome cooperation.
The dialogue is give it to us or we'll take it. And now I'm more than willing to pay you for it. I'm more than willing to buy it from the Kingdom of Denmark, since the money is what you're concerned about.
We do not seek any conflict, but our message is clear. Greenland is not for sale. We have made this clear from the
Okay, well, that's your choice, I guess.
Start, just as we have from the beginning of all this, told the Americans that if it is a...
Dude, look, I bet that America could go in and rip the King of Denmark out of his fucking bed. Like, I bet they could do it.
About security, there is much more we can and should do together. And we will also
Yeah, that's because you haven't been doing a goddamn thing to secure Greenland, like, at all. And now that Trump's going, why are we doing this if we don't own it? We're just going to own this. You're going to, well, okay, well, we're going to step up our thing. Okay, this is our place. We're going to handle it. We're going to take care of it. Yeah, shut the fuck up, right? You lost your chance, lady.
Repeat this at the meeting tomorrow. Because, of course,
I was trying to give her something from that last the last article that we read about her in Denmark, but whatever.
Want to strengthen cooperation on Arctic security with the USA, with NATO, with Europe, and with the Arctic states in NATO. And just as the Baltic countries, for example, are not alone in defending NATO's eastern flank against Russia, because it is precisely a common concern for the entire alliance, the same applies in the Arctic. NATO.
Also, just so everyone's aware, the leftists are going to be siding with Denmark on this, despite the fact that Denmark has a king. So just Food for thought there.
Must protect and defend Greenland just as much as any other inch of NATO's territory. And that security guarantee is the best defense against China or Russia as a threat in the Arctic. Dear Greenlanders, you must know that we stand together. We do so today, we will do so tomorrow, and we will continue to do so. And with those words, the floor is yours, Jens Frederick.
We have no intention of becoming American. It is not something we have aimed for, worked for, but we have worked towards more collaboration with Americans for many, many years. We are
Absolutely. We would love for you to collaborate as a state in the Union of the United States of America. Nothing would change for you, if we're just being honest. The only thing that would change for you is the face on your money.
an American ally, but we do not...
No, I take that back. You'll probably have a lot more freedoms, and you'll probably also... the structure of your government might change a little bit, and we're just being honest. You'll also get a lot richer, just for being a fucking resident of Greenland.
See ourselves as becoming Americans. We are quite happy with being part of the Kingdom of Denmark. We feel betrayed. We feel that...
That's because you don't feel like you are. You feel like you're part of Greenland, which is, sure, can remain Greenland. Just, you know, the state of Greenland.
The rhetoric is offensive, as we have stated many times.
I can understand why Texas wouldn't want it, though, because, you know, Texas is currently the biggest.
Before, but also bewildering, because we have done nothing but support the notion that the Greenland is a part of the American national self-interest. We recognize this and have done so for many decades.
Okay, so you recognize that, and okay, yeah, sure, okay. So, what's the problem with Trump just being done working with your useless, with the useless country that currently runs you?
So we are an ally, and so are Denmark. We are allies of the U.S., and of course we are bewildered that now I have to have a press conference discussing a possible annexation or selling of Greenland. So for us, this is...
We're going to force you to sell Greenland. I hope you understand that. Like, Trump does not want to use military, and I'm sure that we'll pay you for it.
It's not something we sought. This is not something I think we deserved. I think we have been good partners. My deepest dream is, or hope is, that the people of Greenland will get a say no matter what. I think we are the ones to have a say in the decision about our own future. And of course, be it...
Yeah, you can have whatever opinion you want about your own future. I just hope it's the right opinion.
Being part of the
My opinion. Yeah, my opinion is always the right opinion. So if your opinion is my opinion, then your opinion is the right opinion. Definitely subscribe for more right opinions.
America, I think we should have a vote on it. I think we should be able to have a say ourselves in the future of our lives. For others, this might be a piece of land, but for us, it's home.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said Greenland belongs to its people and stressed that the European Union respects the wishes and interests of Greenlanders. She said Greenland can count on European support.
Can they, though? Can they, though? EU's not going to go to war with the US. They're going to write a sternly worded letter, if anything.
Not just in words, but in actions.
That's not true.
I want to put all this aside and address the
Belgium.
general principle of Greenland, that we look at what are the different debates. So first of all, Greenland belongs to its people. So it's up to Denmark and
It absolutely does. And Trump is looking out for its people by offering them the chance to join the United States of America.
Greenland, and only to them, to decide on matters that are concerning Denmark.
Does that mean we're leaving Denmark out of the equation and we're leaving the EU out of the equation? We're just letting Greenland? Because I'm fine with that. I'm good with that.
And Greenland, that's point number one. That's very important.
I think that Greenland should separate from Denmark and become independent if they don't join the U.S. And then they should join the U.S. after that.
We are in constant contact with the Danish government, also to listen to what the needs are, what the needs of the Greenlanders are, in very close contact. Second, Greenland...
Dude, between Ukraine, Palestine, and Greenland at this point, the EU is going to get bled dry, man. They're going to have to stop caring about one or two of these.
It's part of NATO. And when we are speaking about Arctic security, this is one of the core topics of NATO. And we know that the glue between the allies is the fact that there's always the clear motto, one for all for one. So NATO is one forum to integrate the different interests that are out there. But of course, the Arctic and Arctic security is also a matter for the European Union without any question. And we've invested since years in our relationship with Greenland. I was there last year, before all this happened, to open the office in Nuuk so that we have a constant channel of communication with the Greenlanders. We have an investment program. We've stepped up our engagement since last year. We have accelerated our work. So there's a strong and good and...
Are you doing that because you know that President Trump wanted Greenland and you had no choice? Are you doing it because whenever he went to the EU, he said, or whenever he went to the UN and to the into NATO summits and stuff, he said, "Hey, you guys aren't fucking doing anything. How come we're paying for all your shit? How come we're guaranteeing your security militarily? Is it because we're not doing that anymore? You have no choice but to start stepping up your game to protect your shit, or your entire economy is going to collapse. It's not going to be propped up by the U.S. taxpayer anymore." Is that right, lady in Belgium?
Existing relationship between the European Union and the Greenlanders. And for me, it's important that the Greenlanders know, and they know this by the deeds, not only by the words, that we respect the wishes of the Greenlanders and their interests, and
they will respect much more the wishes of the U.S. Government.
That they can count on us.
Meanwhile, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance is preparing to meet Danish and Greenlandic officials in Washington amid rising diplomatic tension between allies. Greenland, a semi-autonomous territory of NATO member Denmark, has become a focal point of international attention as Trump continues to insist the United States...
What you see, by the way, that's it. That's the people that live there. This is the town. That is all. What you see is what you get. This small area here, that's it. That's 70,000 people.
Control the island, refusing to rule out the use of force. In Greenland's capital, Nuuk, residents say the message is clear. The island is not for sale. Greenland's strategic importance has grown as melting Arctic ice opens potential new shipping routes and access to critical minerals needed for modern technology.
Correct. That's why the U.S. wants it. It is a very, very advantageous strategic position, geopolitically anyway, for the United States of America specifically. And as long as Canada plays ball and becomes part of the United States, there isn't a problem, and we can literally drive there.
Trump has cited alleged threats from Russian and Chinese ships as justification for U.S. control. But many Greenlanders reject that claim, saying they have seen no such presence and accusing Trump of exaggerating security concerns to justify territorial ambitions.
I think he should mind his own business.
Why?
When they say residents don't want this, it's this guy. That's it. It's just the one dude. I think he should mind his own business. Because he doesn't really know what to say. How come? They've got to push him a little bit. This is the fucking AP news.
What is he going to do with Greenland? He speaks of Russians and Chinese and everything in Greenlandic waters or in our country. We are only 57,000 people. The only Chinese I see is when I go to the fast food market.
Yeah, see, this is a guy that doesn't understand the geopolitical position of his own country. Yes, I understand that all of you live in the south part of Greenland, but if you go to the north part, you are very close to Russia. Moscow specifically, actually.
So, yeah. And every summer we go sailing and we go hunting, and I never saw.
You would not have to stop doing that. There's no reason you couldn't continue that. In fact, it'd probably be cooler for you to do that, because you could use cooler weapons.
Russian or Chinese ships here in Greenland. Security is just a cover-up. They
It is not at all just a cover up. You just have no idea what you're talking about, unfortunately, sir.
they have military installations all over
The U.S. has one military installation in Greenland, but sure.
Greenland. They can reopen if they want to, but they're not going to buy us.
We will. We will buy you, or we will take you. There is no other option.
We have always lived in peace with, we know there are ships around the coast from other countries, but we have never ever have any problem with these ships before.
Great. You're not having a problem with the ships right now. And U.S. President Donald Trump is going to make sure of that.
And now Donald Trump, he goes here.
See, this is what I was talking about. Before I even watched this, I said that it's going to be a lot of the older people that probably would have a problem with it, just because they're used to being part of Denmark. It has nothing to do with anything. And from what I can tell, yeah, it's this old guy that doesn't like it, and it's the other guy that has no idea what he's talking about.
They are everywhere, and he are a person we all must be afraid for, because there are something wrong with him. He are too much.
There are something wrong with him. He are too much. Yeah, there's something wrong with him.
So I think, what can I do? So I make this paper and go to the police station and give it to the police station and have hope other people will make the same and make a size under the paper and go to police station, and so we can be so many.
Are these people fucking retarded? Dude, they need the U.S. now. Like, our education system sucks, but it's better than these guys. Fuck me. My God.
I can.
You can't even put together one coherent sentence. Just one. I say, what can I do? I make this paper, I take it to the police station, and I only hope that other people make paper and take to police station. And what the fuck is this? What is this? They're claiming that Greenland doesn't want this, but they're not convincing me.
On this way, so the government can say stop.
So the government can say stop. Oh, listen. This lady. Oh, this is gonna be a feminist. Watch.
I think he's just trying to scare us about saying that Russians and Chinese ships is around Greenland. It's probably not true. I don't believe it. That he has to back off. That he can't just get everything he wants just because he wants his stuff here.
Okay, so why should Denmark have you then, exactly? Just out of curiosity, and also, I mean, I'm not trying to be like discriminatory or like racist or profiling in any way, but it's possible that you're a Chinese spy.
As diplomatic meetings continue on both sides of the Atlantic, the dispute has raised uncomfortable questions for NATO unity and for the future of Greenland itself. For now, Greenland's leaders insist their position is unchanged.
Oh, you fool. Oh, you poor, sweet, innocent thing at Times of India. Listen, their compliance is not a factor, all right?
The island belongs to its people, and its future is theirs to decide.
And I just hope they decide correctly, because we will decide for them if they do not decide correctly. Definitely subscribe on YouTube. It's youtube.com/Sestel-G2D. I did not plan that, but hey, you know what? Whatever. If YouTube thinks I'm the second coming, who am I to judge, right? If you don't like YouTube anymore, if you're tired of that, if you're going over to Rumble, like some people have, then definitely subscribe to me there. Also, rumble.com/Sestel. If you like x.com and you like based opinions and you like people like me calling out people like the guy behind me, or the people that are opposing him, honestly, more often than not, then definitely go over to x.com /real_Sestel, because for whatever reason Sestel was already taken, which is odd because I really thought that I was pretty unique with this name. Anyway, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.